also in the habit.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
that's new.
who the heck is that?
That's my assistant.
Yeah,
No, that's
tell
new.
her to pipe down.
All right. So yeah,
Shout out
well,
to the people in the building right now, y'all. It's No FOMO episode 9 with Maddie Wash from Rashad Radio. We is getting ready to get into it. He just got his recording system set up apparently.
yep.
I see Waffle Chick up in here, Katie H, Shani. You know, there is a new feature that you cannot ignore, which is that we could have a co-host up on here.
Right.
But more than likely, we will not do that. At least I don't know how Maddie feels, but it's not necessary in my opinion. I'm gonna leave that to like super fan type shit because we
That's
gotta weekly plan this thing with Maddie, and I don't really weekly plan it with all you rambunctious people. I'm just playing, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The
If you want a little bit of priority when it comes to that, just subscribe right now. And
there you go.
be like, all right, same thing I do.
That sounds good. Um, yeah. So yeah, planet's holding strong. It's at 6.69. I'm sure you didn't buy it any much lower than much higher than that. I think the
No,
highest it was at
let me
was
check
at
what.
7.
Let me see what I got with that waffle chick saying something right quick. We'll
Good.
play that message. I'm gonna see what my plan. Shad, Maddie, how are y'all today? It's great to see you gentlemen on. I'm just coming in saying what the topic is. No FOMO episode 9. I might be a tad bit slow, but I'm not understanding. So just hit me to the game with my slow ass. Let Maddie do the honors.
So
What is no FOMO,
no
Maddie?
FOMO means no fear of missing out. And it's a shame that, the way that people invest or they think about investing, like if you came into, actually, I was just talking to talk about this. It's like, if I told you, hey, look at this stock or look at this crypto coin, you might want to invest in it. What do people do? They go and they say, well, let me go look at what the price of it's been. Has it been up or down the last like week, month? And that's how they decide. Like if they've never heard of it, they go, oh, well, it's down right now, so I ain't buying that. Or they'll say, oh, look, it's gone up. It's gone up over the last 3 weeks. All right, I'll buy some. And that is like, that one is not research. Number two is the exact opposite as to how you would buy. Like people understand buy low, sell high, but if it's going down, people are like, then I guess I shouldn't buy it. And then if it's going up, they're like, maybe I should.
It's so hard for them to like understand both concepts because it's a catch-22 feeling, I guess. But you just gotta trust the process, like Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and it's not, well, that's how people lose their money. You got to understand with stocks and with crypto, me and you and all the uh little people out here, the retail investors as we're called, we only make up 20 to 30% of the money that's buying a stock that moves a stock. Like, you got to understand, like people are like, oh, um it's moving, I guess everyone's selling or everyone's buying. Not necessarily.
Don't flatter yourself.
Right. Like, if all the entire public decided to sell, it wouldn't move it as much as maybe, two hedge funds deciding to sell. So people also have to understand that and then they try to think about like, well, why does everybody not like this? And you got to understand the way hedge funds work, the way big money works is by the time you hear about stuff, it's way past. They've already done their move. They've already decided what they're doing. Like they're doing this for a living and you're doing this as like a side hustle. They're doing it with millions of dollars and you're doing it with 100, 200,000 bucks, 2,000 bucks, 10,000 bucks. It's nothing. So you have to play the game differently than they do. And the key, I was talking to some guys who do another show about investing, and I'm like, well, why is everybody not in the stocks right now? all you guys do is talking about crypto, because crypto was up and literally and literally dropped like 2 days, like the show you did with Bitcoin that he decided needed to apologize for or whatever. That was like 2 days after I commented on that show. When I was like, well, everyone's talking about Bitcoin, but no one's talking about stocks right now. And the reason why I'm more into stocks than I am Bitcoin is not necessarily because one's better than the other, but in my mind, I understand what a stock is. It's a company. I'm buying shares into a company, and I can look at it at the financials of the company and say, this company is doing the right things with their money, they're doing the wrong things with their money, are they reinvesting it? Like my favorite company, Nikola, their report just came out and they gave over $1 billion in bonuses. The company hasn't even made anything yet. Like they haven't sold one truck, and we just found out they gave out $1 billion in bonuses to their executive team. I'm like, for what? Like, you need the money for building stuff. So when you see acts like that, like one of the number one things I look for when I'm investing in a company is who's their owner, what's their leadership like, what are their CEOs like. So like this is the stuff I don't understand with coins. So therefore, but I can see if a company's management is doing the right things. Good. Well, it's a different. Well, when I was talking, well, you see the thing with a coin, there's nobody like managing the coin. There's no one making decisions like, okay, here's what we're going to do, or it's not a company. It's a completely different analyzation process. And from what it's like trying to figure out the prices of, okay, in the stock market, it would be like trying to figure out the prices of commodities like gold and silver and copper, and so it's like that, where you're just trying to figure out, well, what is everyone going to value this at, because that's the only value there is. Like with analyzing a company, I'm looking at I don't really care what their stock price is. Their stock price isn't a indication of how well the company is doing. Like, so Tesla was beaten down for years and years and years. Like for 5 years, they didn't go anywhere, even though every year they were increasing their profits, they were increasing their capacity, they were building more things. So we saw all this happening. So because I'm studying the company, with a coin. Yeah, I got like I'm redoing a bedroom. Yeah. So they're putting up plywood. I mean, not plywood. What is that stuff? Plasterboard. Before they paint. So anyway, yeah, I can't believe you can pick that up. Wow. All right. Yeah. So like, yeah. So the fact is that that's kind of why I'm not, again, it's a different way of analysis of like, I don't try to do. The only thing I will do is copper, because I understand copper is going into a lot of renewable energy stuff, and copper mines are things that I'm buying right now, because I know the price of copper is going to go through the roof, and the need for copper is going to go through the roof over the next 5 or 6 years. So the point being is, I can have confidence. When you're analyzing like that, so like if you're just buying because something's up or down, and you don't know what it is you're buying, you're not going to have the confidence when the stock is down or the crypto is down to hold on to it, because you don't know why you're holding on to it. So you get all emotional because if you didn't have a reason for buying in the other place, in the first place, other than to say, well, it went up a little. Well, then when it goes down a little, then you're like, all right, this stock sucks, or this coin sucks. So you need to have more intestinal fortitude to hold on. And the way you get that is by researching and understanding what's going on, or why do you think it's going to go up in the future? Not necessarily it went up and somebody told it to me. So everything I tell you guys as far as stocks and things to pick is based upon looking out for 3, 4, 5 years. Like Planet, it hasn't dropped, but you know, I don't expect that to take off until the federal regulations for marijuana drop, but I don't expect that to happen this year or probably even next year.
Right.
You know?
So again, the idea, y'all, is more long term, not short term. No paper hands, need some diamond hands.
Right. Diamond hard hands. But so what I was saying, so the analogy I was saying to these guys is like, well, they're like, I like to go where the money is. I'm gonna go where the money is. And they're like, money is here, so I'm gonna go there. I'm like that, but that's like being a dog chasing a boomerang. It's like, it's like you're chasing the boomerang, and I'm just gonna stay here and wait for it to come back. And that's the way most people are, because they're running around after like, oh, what's up? Like that guy Kramer on Mad Money, right? And his line is, "There's a bull market somewhere, and I'm gonna help you find it." And I'm thinking, well, I don't want a bull market. I want the bear market. That's the way I think about it. I go, there's a bear market somewhere, and I want to get it as cheap as possible.
Why do you think that he uses that terminology correctly?
Well, because they're running a TV show, and people want to know the hot stock. You know?
So they'll never, I mean, the miseducation is essentially profitable in the long run for them for ratings. It's crazy.
Yeah, always check I mean, whether it's, you know, like conspiracy theories or anything, I just look for, where's the money going? What's the motivation? If you can figure out where the motivation is, then you can figure out if what you're trying to figure out, you know, that's the first thing detectives do. You know, there's no motive. What's the motive for doing this? People don't do this. People don't do things for no reason. And so Mad Money is a TV show. People watch it. They think it's the guy talks fast and he uses numbers that he uses words that they don't understand. So like, all right, if he says it's good, it's good. And then they look at the stock price like, oh, it's been going up. All right. This is good advice. And then they don't have the reasons to.
Story checks out.
Yeah. So and then, oh, this guy told me about this stock and it went down. I'm like, good, listen to that guy. Not necessarily the stock going down. Like, the only way you lose money in the stock market, as I say all the time, is if you sell.
If you take out when you're at a loss.
If you sell, or the company goes out of business, right? So if you're looking at the company and you're seeing what they're doing that's going to move them forward, you know, like humble. My humble has been dropping like crazy.
I've been seeing that everywhere now that you say it too.
Mhm.
It is dropping, you're saying?
Oh yeah, it's down to like 83 cents now.
I see it everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but I've been seeing it a little bit more often on my social media. So.
Yeah, and that's the company. Like, it keeps dropping until people are getting scared. Because I mean, I bought in at, well, let me see, where's my buy-ins here, at $3, and I bought in at, wait, here I got all my different buy-ins. I bought in at 424, 430, 395, 330, 295, $2.81, 160, 186, and I just bought another 30 shares at $1.47. Now it's down to 83 cents. I'm gonna buy more probably on Monday. So I just keep buying as it's falling. You can imagine people are selling as it's falling, right? Because I really like the company. I like their leadership. They're still putting out great stuff. They haven't even gone online yet. It was just their first quarter reporting, and they at least showed some revenue. So I'm just looking at the company, and as long as it's down, I'm really happy. And the more it goes down, I'm really happy, because I know they're not going out of business. I just know the stock price is going down because the hedge funds don't like it. Or, well, with Humble, the reason why is because it was a penny stock, and it's still on the OTCs, but it's a penny stock, and then they did a reverse merge, because when penny stocks exist, they put a lot of shares into the market in order for them to make money, because the shares are so cheap, they have to sell a lot of them to raise money for the company, if that makes sense, right? So they put out so many shares Like if your stock price is at $10, and you put out 1 million shares, there's $10 million there. But if you put out, 1 billion shares, you're making a lot more money, but it's not going to be $10 anymore. So they have to put out, so when it's a penny stock, they have to put out a lot of shares. But when you have a lot of shares out there, people can manipulate the market because they can buy so many shares at cheap. You can buy 10 million shares at a time, so you get a lot of people screwing around with the market, like Doge, where like 65% of Doge is in only 100 wallets. So that means 100 people own 65% of that coin that exists. So those 100 people can really change the price of Doge at any time they wish. Am I making sense?
Yeah, well, you told me that. Yeah, no, you told me that last time, and it bothered me.
Yeah,
And
well,
I was like,
well, that's the thing. So with a penny stock like Humble, all right, when it was really cheap, so what they did is they went up there, and then they did a reverse merge, which basically means that if you had or not a reverse merge, a reverse split. So like Tesla, a company that's doing well will do a split. Like Tesla did this because the stock price was too high. So it was $1,000 a share, and they did a 5-for-1 split. So instead of having one share for $1,000, you had 5 shares for $200, right? And they do that to bring down the price of the share, so that way people, when they go and look at the stock price, they go, I'm not going to buy that. It's $1,000 a share. I don't got that much money to invest right now. So, but if you say, oh, it's 200 a share, I got $400 I'm investing, so I'll buy 2 shares of Tesla. So that's why companies do that, because they want to entice more people to buy the stock. The problem is when there's a reverse, they do the opposite. So if it was at 200, they do a reverse split, and they're buying in shares, and now each share is worth more. So that's what they did to get a lot of those shares out of the market, so they have more control over their company. But when a company does a reverse split, it looks like what the company's doing is trying to artificially raise their stock price. That's what it kind of looks like. And most companies, if that happens, you don't want to see it happen. But with Humble was doing it because they're trying to get onto a main exchange, like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ or something like that.
I was gonna say, I can't find them. I always forget that it's hard for me to find them.
Yeah, because they're an OTC. So, which is over the counter, which means that they're not on an exchange. Like if anyone's ever seen Wolf of Wall Street, and he's like trading pink sheets, that's what that means. They're not on a market. They're penny stocks. So so the point being is you want to buy. So just like people will say, oh, I bought Bitcoin at like whatever, $200, and now it's $50,000. That's what like buying Humble at like 83 cents is right now. Like you're buying it for that company to, if that company goes to, $83, I have 10 times my money as a price share. So you can buy as much as you can low and then sell it high. So, but the only way you can do that is if you're researching companies early and then sticking with them when they're dropping. So, and buying more. That's what I do. So I'm researching, where can I find a good company now, if something, the only time I'll sell a company, if like something fundamentally changes with the company, like if Elon Musk sold Tesla and somebody else came in, or he put in charge of some NBA who is just like, all right, let me just maintain this thing, I would consider changing my position on Tesla. But I change it because the company changes, not because the stock price changes.
For y'all that don't know, we also tend to turn the show from an investment show to a Tesla talk, just because Maddie had got me strung out. But I've kind of cooled down after I realized like how much they really want me to pay monthly and all that stuff. I'm like, I got that money. I was actually just dreaming anyway, y'all. But can a man dream? I mean, dang, can a man dream?
Yeah, well, that's the reason Tesla prices. Tesla pricing has been going up, but that the reason why is because the United States is about to give back the tax credit for buying electric cars. So back when I was with Tesla back in 2018, when they came out with the Model 3, there was a tax credit, like you would get $7,000 as a federal tax credit if you bought an electric car. But the caveat was each manufacturer only got to sell 200,000 cars and get this tax credit. All right. So Tesla, that wrapped up real quick because they only sell electric cars and it was a very popular car. So right now Tesla's selling against other companies, other EV companies. So if you went to get a Chevy Bolt or something, they're selling against other companies that have that $7,000 tax credit still, and they're still outselling them. So the United States is bringing that credit back. So Tesla's raising their price because you're going to get $10,000 off anyway, or 7,000, I should say. I think this is going to be the number.
Back and forth from your phone. Are you changing from your Bluetooth?
No, I was texting someone who's being really annoying right now. Even my fingers sound sad, guys. So one thing about this phone, it's got a good mic. You always got to be careful.
It does. It does.
Texting.
Joel Rodriguez is a new follower of Shot Radio. He's left a message to see if it's something that has to do with the show. Big up to Joel Rodriguez.
Yo guys, both of you, listen to me right now. Buy the dip for Bitcoin. Buy Ethereum. Buy some more crypto. You're gonna make money. I guarantee you. I guarantee it, man. Just do it.
All right, appreciate that.
Well, here's the thing. If you're buying things long term, now see also that's what it's challenging for me to say that with crypto coins too, because I don't know how many crypto are going to make it. You know, it's like, are all these coins that are out there all going to make money?
Right.
It's
all destined to have a good ending.
Right. So like I can tell you in investing in companies, when you look at a 5-year horizon, now it depends on when you got to look, like the reason penny stocks are so cheap is because they're not really great companies yet. They don't have to, they're still either in development stage or you're trying to catch. It's like buying a Shibu Inu. All right. Like you're just hoping that maybe I'll catch this really cheap and it'll do well. And who knows, most 8 out of 10 companies fail, So the point being is, if you're buying penny stocks, you're taking a big chance. But also, if you're buying like a Coca-Cola, like I think like a big company that's established, you're not going to grow much, and potentially in 5 years, it might, people are buying less soda, or getting healthier. So, so you're trying to find those companies that are going to, in 5 years, be a lot better than they're going to be now. And if I know that, then I'm not worried about the stock price, whether it goes up or down. Same thing with the coin. So I don't think Bitcoin's going to go away. So yeah, you can buy the dip and be fine if you're a long-term investor, which is what I do. So I have more trouble with that because I don't understand what's going to make a coin be good 5 years from now. I understand the charts.
I guess the only thing that I'm understanding it, making it what I can get in my limited knowledge for everybody that's out here. I started on this journey with Matty Watts and Bitcoin Boxer about 9 episodes ago, but I'm learning it, and all I can gather for the crypto and Bitcoin specifically, how we can have faith in it bouncing back or being around or like gaining value, is that the technology of it is never going to go away, right? The blockchain, and then I guess the overall outlook for me is that common knowledge of it has to expand. And so once common knowledge of it expands, and then there's trust, and then there's like rich motherfuckers that are also helping us have that trust, whoever it be, whether it be celebrities or businesses that we frequent, things will happen, and it's just inevitable. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and so it's a matter of which coins are going to be around in the 5 years, which I can, for me personally, I can, my head can grasp, like, will gold be better in 5 years or not? I don't know. I don't know how that market works, but I can tell, hey, I can say, okay, I can look at the leadership of this company. I can look at the products they're making. I can look at their financials. Do they have a lot of debt? Do they have cash on hand? What happens if it goes bad? What happens if things go good? What's their future? Like, I can just grasp my head around a business more, because I can see if they're doing the right things, or if they're taking a half $1 billion out in bonuses and they haven't even made a product yet, you know? So so yeah, so that's the now if we're gonna get into some Tesla talk, which we always seem to do. Did we talk about last week that they just broke the quarter mile record
Yeah, I believe
for
so.
all production cars? Yeah, so
I remember you telling me they try to order, you can't get the.
oh yeah, well that's the lead time. I mean, they're selling. That's the amount of cars that they're selling. What I'm saying is they actually. So like I think it was the Bugatti, which was the all-time record, and they broke the record for the quarter mile by 0.2 of a second. So, and yeah, and they're doing that with they're doing that with a four-door car. That's like your regular car that you're going to buy, and a Bugatti will cost you $3 million. And you can and the point of it is saying, look, it's not just saying, okay, well, who people like, I'm not going to drive that, I'm not racing cars, but it just talks about how much, like, if you want to get a Bugatti Veyron oil change, you know how much it costs to get an oil change?
Tell me how much.
It's close to $17,000.
For a damn oil change?
Yep. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Cost of Bugatti oil change. Oh, I'm sorry. I just pulled it up on Google. I was wrong.
What did it say?
20 to 25,000.
How much?
$20 to $25,000.
For oil change?
Yes. So Tesla doesn't have any oil. So yeah, so you're buying a car just for buying the car. All right. So
I'm so mad at that right now.
I'm letting it sink in, huh?
Let's see what Joel's talking about.
Go ahead.
For electric vehicle stocks, don't sleep on the one called NIO. This is a Chinese version of Tesla. The stock ticker is NIO. Last time I checked, there's only $35 per stock USD. This is gonna go up, man. I'm telling you, man. I think it's gonna go like $60 like next month, man. I can see that happening, yo.
So the question is, so NIO, I don't invest in it just because I don't trust Chinese companies. Not because I don't trust Chinese people. I don't trust the Chinese government. And I don't know how good the actual company is, or if the government is just backing them. Okay, so and NIO has a big issue. The issue with NIO that I have also is the way basically with their technology is the battery swap. Because in China, most people live in cities. They don't live like, I think I even said this on this show, but in New York and in America, there's one city with over 10 million people in it, and that's New York City. In China, there are 15 cities with over 10 million people in it. So, yeah, I mean, they're triple our like we have like 325 million people. They've got over 1 billion people in China. And so you have a lot of people living in cities, so they don't have their own. Most people don't have their own houses to charge their car at. So what Neo's doing is they're doing a battery swap, whereas you have a battery in your car, and then when you want to go fill up, you don't go charge it. You go to a station, and then it takes the battery off the bottom of the car and then swaps in a new battery. And sounds like a good idea. The problem is now you have to have you always have to have batteries on hand that are not in cars. You have to have batteries at these stations all the time. And so Tesla was looking into the same technology, but then they're like, well, you know, the batteries are the most expensive part of the car, and these are the things we're just going to use our inventory to sit around in stations, like doing nothing at times. So we'd rather have those batteries in cars to make us money. So Neo is a good competitor, but people, when they say it's going to go up, I always ask why. Because it was up before, because that's not a good reason. So what's the research? What's the reasoning behind it going back up to $60? And it might over like the next 5 years, but what's your reasoning why? That's always what I ask before I start researching stuff. But
my reasoning is strictly word of mouth, and I know that's the worst one. I keep hearing it, and I'm like, all right, I must be on the sun. But that's all I got. I really done a lot of research. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I am. If I've done any research, it was on the AEI joint more than the offset.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wonder that I saw that was going back up. It was back up to 4. Let's take a peeky peek.
Yeah. For y'all don't know what we're talking about, offset. AEI is at 417 right now. Is a community of electric homes, offset homes, where you get a Tesla with your crib, y'all. They got it in Texas, and they got it coming soon here in Maryland. But yeah, man, that joint, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
All right. And then you want to hit this last ditty?
Oh yeah, that was from beforehand, so it might be having to do with what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So when I say get crypto, I mean mainly get Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the safest ones. Don't get like Dogecoin or Shiba. You know what I mean? Those are hype cryptos that like they're not gonna go anywhere. Come on.
All right, well, thank you.
Yep. I mean, I'm buying. I bought Doge now on the dip because it's going to go on to Coinbase. Coinbase right now. Ooh, I didn't click my Bitcoin. Do you mine Bitcoin, by the way?
No, I don't have Bitcoin.
No, do you mine B? You don't do the mining?
No, I mine Pi.
Okay, I mine Pi too. Why aren't you mining B?
I don't know nothing about it.
All right, I'm about to send it to you. It's the same thing as Pi. It's just a little. It came out after Pi, and do you know Kel 2020 from over
Kel
there?
2020.
2020.
I'm the one who gave her that. If you ever hear anybody do that, that's me. Just so you know that.
I figured that's how I met her.
Yeah, that's how. Whenever I see her, he's like, Cal 2020, hello. I was just in her room a few seconds ago, her and Nick Nack. But yeah, I know her.
So she's the one who invited me to be, and then now me and Super High have a competition going on. I got about 2,000 of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is it? B-I or B-E? Like what is it?
B-E-E. I'm gonna send it to you on Insta right now.
What up, Desert Fox? I see you up in here. What up, Jersey Worthy? Don't give no fucks. Daz, Andrew P. Shout out to the people that aren't following us that try to call up, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna get on the show with them." Nah. I seen him. He followed you though. He did follow you though. But like, this is a show that me and Maddie do weekly. We probably will eventually incorporate a little bit of like adding a host up in here. But I want to just let you know, like that more than likely will have to be a super fan type of situation.
Yeah.
Not have to be, but it would be, more than likely that.
All right. There you go. I just sent you the B network.
Appreciate
Mine some
that.
free
Appreciate
crypto.
Taps and taps.
Yeah. Anyone?
Jersey Worthy, you didn't even follow me, cuz? What's going on, Appreciate you. Oh wait, I'm not following you either, man. This app be crazy. I thought I was already following.
So yeah, the Bitcoin you can mine some free B.
I gotta check on my Pi network, ball. I used to talk to this dude on this app that put me onto the jump, and then he told me to take it off of my phone as far as like the app because he didn't like something about it, and I said, all right. So I took it off, but I didn't necessarily close my account. So I need to follow up and figure out where I opened that one with and what's going on with that.
Well, I know
I haven't even looked at it in months.
Yeah, Bitcoin did this thing where because there's a lot of other ones. He said he bought a burner phone and put a bunch of them on and wanted to see what they were collecting, like how they were mining, what info.
Shady shit.
Yeah, but
he told me.
I'm pretty sure there's B and the Pi are the only two that are not as bad as some of these other freaking ones are doing. That's why I stuck with these two. I didn't do any more of them.
Follow up on that, see what's going on. Because I've been meaning to get in touch with my man, but he's just like MIA. So now it's like, all right, I guess I gotta be a big boy and figure this out on my own.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I'm putting together in this course is knowing what your percentages are and when you're investing. And so like what I do is really simple. It's well, right now I do 15%, but normally I would do 10% of any dollar that I make goes to investing money. All right, so that's the minimum everyone should do. And then what you put that once that 10% is going to your investment money, that money is never going to be spent. Right. So you got to look at that money as your money that's working for you forever and ever and ever. You know, there's a great book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And I highly recommend everyone to read. And if you want to get it, you can get it on my website, ilovemaddiewash.com. And I have like 5 books on there that really help me understand all this stuff. And they're not hard books to read. It's like stories. But The Richest Man in Babylon, they have like the 5 rules of gold. And the first rule of gold is that part of what you earn is yours to keep. And the money lender, who's the guy who's teaching someone how to become rich in the book, is like, well, he's like, if you go and it's set in like medieval times. So he's like, so if you work all week and then you go and you spend your paycheck and you give some to the blacksmith and some to the tavern and some to then you and all the money, you end up giving all the money away that you worked all week, then basically you worked for the blacksmith and you worked for the tavern. That's what you really worked for all week. And it's the same thing. If you're spending your entire paycheck, you're really working for, your grocery store and Nike and Amazon and wherever you're spending your money. That's who you're working for. So he's like, part of the money that you earn should be yours. It should be yours to continue circulating to work for you. And that money should never. It's not money it's your seed money to go and make more money. That money is supposed to earn you money, so therefore you can eventually get out of the trap. Like the way to get out of the trap, so that's why like the 10% comes out before anything. The 10% comes out before you buy any you pay any bills, before you buy stuff. And even if you're like, well, I got to pay this bill or I got to pay that bill, like, so what? Like, let it be past due. Your 10% is more important. And I tell people all the time, I go, especially people who say, oh, I can't afford to do that, or I don't have money to invest. Like if it's a part of your process, if that 10% automatically comes out, it's almost like taxes are coming out of your check. Like you don't ever say, oh, I don't have enough money. I can't afford the government taking the taxes out of my check. Right? You just accept it. Right. It's like, and that's the way that 10%'s got to come out. You got to be the government to yourself. And it's like that money comes out and it's not money that I ever had. It's money that is going to get me out of this trap that I'm in of having to make money all the time. Because if you don't do that, how are you going to get out? The only other solution that people have is, well, I got to earn more money. I got to work for more money, or I got to get more money for my time.
That's been my mentality for a long on time, y'all. It's taking forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it though. I'm gonna build this website. If I build it, they will come. But at the same time, I'm gonna start saving and investing.
Right.
To make more money.
But all right. So in the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks about the story about the Porsche. Have I said this before? Him buying the Porsche. All right, so I'll say it again. So,
Do it again though.
you think so? Oh, you said you think so? You say I don't think so.
No, I do. No, I do remember. But now I'm saying, but do it again for the people that might not have heard it.
All right. So
might not have read the book or be heard of the book.
Yes. So he just talks about he wanted to buy this specific kind of Porsche. It was like the first one off the line. It was like the Porsche 1974, model one, first production Porsche that came on sale. And he was like, man, I really want to buy this Porsche. And his wife was like, well, go ahead and buy it. And he's like, well, I would, but that's just not how I do it. It's not how I spend money. That's not a part of my plan. That's not the process. And he talks about it, it's like people always want to say, the way to get rich is to, live below your means and, cut up all your credit cards and don't be debt free. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know about you, but when I look at rich people, they don't necessarily want to live below their means. It's not the point of being rich. And he's like, you can do that and you might need to do that in the beginning, but that's not the goal. So he said, so even though I had the money to I could have took the $30,000, put it down on the car and started off that way. And he's like, so he said, instead of buying the car, I took the $30,000, I scoured the real estate and business markets. I found a storage unit company that was going out of business. So I put the $30,000 down on that and bought that business. I saw they had some financial issues and they were just being mismanaged. And he's like, I bought that, I fixed it up, and then that was making me close to like $2,000 a month. And he's like, so when I got when it made me a certain amount of money, I went back, I put the money down on the Porsche, and then the $2,000 a month was paying off the Porsche. And so eventually the Porsche was paid off after 5 years, and I still had the asset. I still had the public storage that was continued making me money. So he's like, so the idea is that you don't go and take your earned income and go buy things. What rich people do is they take their earned income and they buy assets that then make them money. That's what the money they spend. It's just an extra step.
We're all trying to get to the point of doing that. Hey, submissive Tammy and Cutie, I see y'all in the building. Share in my group up in here. Follow me as well. If y'all don't know Matty Wash by now, you need to get familiar. This is episode 9 of our No FOMO show, where he gives excellent tips, I would say, because he's not a financial advisor. We've already made that after. But I like to learn from the brother because I need help myself when it comes to this. And I know there's a lot of things that we can get help with when it comes to listening to podcasts and talk shows like this on stereo. But I feel like one of your best bets is coming to the No FOMO show with Matty Wash and I, because I'm going to ask the questions that a lot of y'all might not ask, and I would encourage y'all to do it as well. You know what I mean? So Mrs. Tammy actually has something to say. Let's see what she said.
Rashad Arabia, thank you for stopping by and dealing with our shenanigans today. I appreciate the energy. And this is definitely a dope show, Maddie. Did I say right this time? What's up? Hi, guys.
Of course.
It is Mrs. Tammy.
Submissive Tammy or Kiss My Grits by now. Get familiar, y'all. They got they're probably one of the illest duos. There's 2 duos on here on these stereo streets, if I got time to put it out there, that are probably the illest, and it's F&G and Miss Boston, and submissive Tammy and Kiss My Grits. They're pretty fucking dope combination. I don't think there's anything topping those. So big up to y'all. And of course, I try to come through and leave my energy. Oh, man, I apologize. I didn't have my good mic in. When I heard the shit play back, it sounded all garbled. Oh. But yeah.
Yes, and I definitely listen to those too. I have to follow them on IG, and I know they do they do IG talks too. And they brought Dr. Pete in. Dr. Pete talked about that for the next,
Did they really?
Yeah, he talked about it for the next 2 months. He's like, yo, B, you're in this room with they just just two beautiful women. I felt bad on that. I didn't want to have my face on there.
Yeah, that's
So
so funny. I see when they had King Rooster on the jump. Y'all doing them big. I like what they do. So make sure y'all get familiar with Submissive Tammy. Anybody listening right now that doesn't know those two. See Miss Figure Queen up in here sharing the show. Joint typically starts at the lucky number of 3:33 Eastern Time. I'm reporting to y'all from the DMV. Maddie Wash is in NYC, if I'm not correct, right?
that's correct. Close enough.
All right. New York.
I'm out on the island.
Yeah, he out that way. But and I don't try to do the shows for too long because this type of stuff can be one of the things where it's like, all right. I think it's better in hour increments, if not hour and a half. So we're approaching that hour. If there's anybody out there that want to say something, speak now, forever hold your peace. Because me and Maddie about to talk about some Teslas and shit. That motherfucking Tesla joint told me I needed to pay $900 a month. I was like,
What were you do?
okay,
When did you? What kind of were you looking at? Were you looking at an S?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. It's $100,000 car.
Well, maybe I was looking at the wrong one. I guess I don't know. I gotta go back and do. It just was deflated. I said, "Oh no, that's not for me."
Well, here's
$100 payment, first payment, and then $900 a month out of the other. Whoa.
well the 100 is just like to order. So I'm gonna put out. You know what? I'm gonna put together. The Y is the one that I think I'm getting a Y. I'm gonna do it right now, actually.
My coworker, the radiologist I work with, the doctor,
Yep.
Dr. Tesla, I should call him, because I work with a couple of doctors that have Teslas, but this gentleman has two. He was telling me you should get a used one, get a little 2017, 2016 S. And I said, okay. That junk was expensive still. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you should be looking at a 3 or a Y then. That's what I'm.
I still don't know. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm a fake me out Tesla head. Nothing about it. Matter of fact, right now on Rashad Radio, if y'all don't follow my Rashad Radio on Instagram, go ahead and do that now. I'm on the IG. What he said, I see you got a DM from Maddie Wash. Okay. I'm gonna follow Tesla hashtag, so I don't see just fat booties and weed on my shit.
Yeah. So because you got to also be careful when you're on the website because it gives you the purchase price and it gives you the potential savings. Because when you actually got, so you got to look at purchase price, but then understand that you're going to save like you never have to do an oil change. You don't have to put gas in the car. Electricity is like 10 times cheaper than buying gas. And
how does it work with the stations? My doctor that I roll with said there's stations all over Maryland.
Yeah.
Do you pay money when you bring your car there?
Yeah. You pay per like an electric bill.
Do you know what typically people pay if they're like dead ass about to be dead charged and they need a whole charger and pay like how long would it take? Let's just
$15.
Really, how much?
15 to
That's
fill.
nothing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Electricity is cheaper than gas. So you probably pay about $15 to charge all the way up. And at a supercharger, it takes you about 15 to 20 minutes to go from zero, like almost dead, to 80% charge. So the last 20% of the charge takes almost as long as the first 80% because it's just how batteries work. So cheap. Yeah. So that's why when you look at the website, it'll tell you purchase price, and it says potential savings over the long. So the purchase price, what you actually got to pay up front, but understand that you're going to be saving a lot of money on oil changes, transmission. You don't have car, like they don't break down because there's very little moving parts in the car. And Tesla, they just did this picture of the GigaCast things where they're making these cars cheaper and cheaper. It's like right now the prices are going up, but the reason they're raising the price is because that tax credit's going to come in. So they figure, if you're going to have an extra $7,000, we can add another $2,000 to our car price. So they're raising it up in anticipation, and they They don't know if it's going to be 7,000 or 10,000. So that's going to come off. All right. And then it depends on, how long you're going to do your deal, and if you get, what kind of extra added ons you're going to get. But I'm looking at a Y.
You're looking at a Y.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people in the building right now. This is now the Tesla portion of the show. Matty Wash has infected me with Tesla enthusiasm, but I'm not fluent in the lingo, so this is another part where I learn with him. It's fun because I feel like these shits are dope. How many of y'all don't like Teslas? You don't like Tesla? Leave a message. You do like Tesla? Leave a message. You like the show? Leave a message. You don't like the show and leave a message? I'll more than likely carry you and still let you know it's going to be ugly. Say no. I'm not playing, actually. I will embarrass you.
This is a loan with.
I see you, cutie. It's Pisces up in the
6,000.
building. Aliyasha, True Serum, Cowbell, Miss Tammy, Charlie 9, Sayuri, Queen, Sammy O, Cammy, Mind Fox, my guy, Brother Williams, even swung through this jump. Alright, that's what's up. They
So
probably ended their show and you're like, okay, see what they talk.
well, with a so you're talking about $600 to $700 a month with a Model Y, which is a 5 or 7 seater. If you're getting a Model 3, you're probably going to be around 500. But that's before tax credit. So if there's a $10,000 tax credit, that's going to be changing, or a $7,000 tax credit. So that's coming down the line.
Model 3.
Yeah. Well, Model 3 is the coupe.
Oh, that's really nice.
Now, it also depends on if you get a standard, a long range, or a performance. I would recommend a long range over the standard. You're going to go from, but you
tell you.
Good.
No, I did tell you because I remember what your response was. That was my dude at the barbershop that was like, Teslas are cheap. And he just bought a Porsche. I feel like that's what maybe made it so you said that whole Porsche story. What the hell is going on here, man?
What?
I mean, this stereo shit, I don't have nobody blocked. Did I block her by accident? It says this person who I'm about to play a message, I can't see her account, so she either have me blocked.
Matty Wash, I want to thank you as always for your valuable information and the direction into learning things yourself, enriching yourself, and growing. Hello, Rashard Radio. Just speaking in my podcast. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your podcast. On purpose.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. So if you get the full self-driving package, which is additional 10 Gs, it'll give you navigate on autopilot, which basically means when you're in traffic, when you're driving on highways, you can turn it on and it'll basically drive itself. It'll move around cars. You set the speed, it'll drive, it'll merge, and it will take you off.
I'm just gonna let y'all know I probably would not ever use that. I don't even care.
You say,
are you looking forward to using that?
Yeah, you say that now because you've never used it. You've never driven with it. I said the same thing. I was like, I ain't gonna use that. But when you're driving in traffic, you don't realize how much, like, because I used to, when I worked there, I would basically, it would be about, I want to say 15 exits, 63 to 49. So what is that? 14 exits. And on Long Island. And I remember when I finally had the cars that I was driving around in them, and I was like, all right, well, let me at least play, because I would take people on test drives all the time. So I was like, let me turn on the autopilot, get used to it myself. And you don't realize, like, when I got home, I was like, why? I feel like normally I'll drive home and I'll be tired. I'll be like ready to take a nap, or I'll just sit in the car for a little bit. But I had all my energy, because when you're driving, you don't realize how much brain activity you're actually using, especially if you're in traffic, and like stop, go, like you can't really do anything else. And you're engaged the entire time mentally. And with this, you just let it take care of it. And it's pretty cool. And after a while, you just automatically do it all the time because it's just like I don't want to drive. Like there's I enjoy driving, but there's a difference between driving to enjoy it and driving in traffic.
Right, to get places, just because you have to get there.
Well, driving in traffic in general is just mind numbing. So
Right.
so then it has auto park, it has summon. So if you're like in the parking lot,
So you're essentially saying like going not very fast speeds, you trusted it. Like I'm assuming 20 to maybe 50 at the max.
no, I trust it on the highway. 60. I put on every time. Every time.
No.
Yeah, man, that's when you drive it. The hard parts for it to drive.
I feel like if the road's open enough where you can go that fast, you might as well be doing it yourself because it's going fast.
It's the part that the hardest part for the Teslas to do the self-driving the um is driving when you're not on the highway. Highway is easy for because it's just stop, go, and maybe watch out for some merging cars. But when it gets onto it's like, is this kid gonna jump out right now? Am I gonna dodge these random things? Is a turkey cross the road? Am I doing, making blind lefts? Yeah, that's the part that they're working on to get is all that extra stuff. The highway is much easier for the cars to drive. And understand when you're driving a car, you have two eyes that get tired and that you want to do other things. This has 8 cameras that are watching all the time. Don't get tired, and they're just trying to drive your car. So that's why I trust it. All right, I'm gonna hit these. Let's see what they gotta say.
Yeah, please do.
Yo, how did I get up in this money talk right here? How do I get money off here? You know what I'm saying? No, it's good, yo, man. I'm done with making money. I could use that right now, yo.
Follow Rashad Radio, follow Matty Wash, subscribe as well. Maybe you can even come up on the show and talk with us, bro. I see you got another message.
Yo, it's like, what's the secrets? What's the secret, yo? Tell me. I need to know, man. I need some pointers up in here.
You're at the right place, but we're not financial advisors, and we actually have no money whatsoever. Well,
Zero money.
With us, though, this is the show where we talk about investments and Teslas because I one day am putting it on into the universe that I will be in my new Tesla tweeting about the No FOMO show and whatever episode that will be on at that point and how I'm doing good with my investments and in my Tesla. That's the idea.
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time, why don't you have a Tesla? I'm like, same reason he didn't buy that Porsche. Like, I'm putting my money into, I want to buy, well, I want to get the Cybertruck. I got my reservation in for that. And that probably will start coming out at the end of this year. And, but where I am in the reservations, I'm at like 500,000. So I probably won't be getting mine until middle of next year, which means I need to be making enough money to pay that off, passive income to pay that off. So that's what I'm working towards, which is what I'm working with my business and whatnot.
We're working towards it, man. Just like we're working on here weekly, y'all. So big up to everybody for checking us out and following, like Nietzsche Too Sick, the brother who just left messages. I'm going to shout out the people who followed us today, man. That's a new follower. We got another new follower right up here. I seen it. It was Share FM Group. Followed both Matty Wash and Rashad Radio. Appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? And so did Fuck Your Feelings. Now, I hope Fuck Your Feelings doesn't come through on some Fuck Your Feelings shit to us. But maybe she'll be like, she'll be like a defensive player for us.
So I'm going through my website right now and just realizing I have on here for those of you that have a lot of debt. All right, I have up here a video. It's in my money management section, which talks about how to eliminate your debt twice as fast without paying any more. And it's just a strategy on how to pay your debt in the right way, as opposed to the way most people pay it off. And if you pay it off in the proper way, if you just do the bills in the proper order, you can get rid of that debt. And when I say twice as fast, it might even be 3 times or 4 times, depending on how much debt you have. So I got myself to almost, I only have one more. I got one more. Back when I had one of my business loans, it was like up to 100 grand. I got it down to like 40, but all my other stuff is done. My credit cards, my car, everything's is done, paid off. So now everything's going into this one debt left. And, but it'll teach you how to get debt free a lot faster. Bad debt free. Then you can start getting good debt, which is like buying real estate debt. So,
Yeah, man. That's what I want to know about. My lady been watching all this flip or flop. She's ready to start flipping and flopping houses. I'm like, whoa.
well,
It's crazy.
you can flip. I mean, there are ways to flip houses with no money, but it's a matter of Doge is down to 28 cents.
Whoa.
Yep.
It's gonna go lower.
You know what? While we're on the show, I'm about to. Oh no, I can't do it right now. But I'll buy it. I'm gonna buy some Doge. So me and so our idea for Doge is going to go on Coinbase. I think I already told you this. It's going on Coinbase. Let me see. Well, I got this up in front of me.
It was below 28 before. It was at 25 cents earlier today.
Oh yeah.
I went down to a quarter.
When is Doge going on? So this is what I'm talking about. Being there instead of chasing, being there when it happens. So you want to. So Coinbase is going to add Doge in 6 to 8 weeks, right? So this is the kind of information that you want. So what do you think is going to happen as it gets closer and closer to going on to Coinbase? It's going to go
up.
Yeah.
And then once it goes up, it's going to fucking go down.
Right.
Buy the hype, sell the news.
Yep. So that's what we're doing right now. It's like, okay, they're not even hyping that right now. A lot of people don't even know that right now, right? So it's gonna get hyped up. People are gonna buy it. People are gonna hear about it and say, oh, okay, it's gonna be on Coinbase, blah blah blah. That's gonna be everywhere. And then as soon as and what happens is when the hype machine starts happening, the hedge funds and the big guys also know what's happening, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do the same trick we do all the time. We're gonna put money in it to get it to start going up, and then the retail investors are gonna get excited about it because it's going up. And everyone's gonna the Doge watch what happens 6 to 8 weeks from now, mid-July. All right. So you're gonna hear Doge, and it's gonna go up and up and up, and then right afterwards the big guys are gonna take their profits and drop it down, and then everyone's gonna get panic sell because it dropped and be like, what the hell? They just wanted Coinbase. Why didn't it go up? Same thing that happened with Saturday Night Live, same thing that happened with Elon's tweets. It happens over and over and over again. So you don't want to buy when it's on that move. So you want to be there beforehand.
It's true. I'm learning. Let's see if Nick, aka what's his name, Nietzsche Too Sick, has learned. What's he talking about?
Reservations, like where you native to, my friend, or Wash. You know, man, I'm from reservations. That shit.
What's his name? Reservations.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's all good. We're gonna wind up this show in a few, but we do this. So appreciate all the new followers earlier. Make sure you follow the Instagram and Twitter. Matty Watch has mentioned his website again many times. You want to go ahead and say it for them?
ilovemattywash.com. It's got a bunch of basic investment tips, how to get started. It's got some videos on the dominance of Tesla, why I'm so invested into Tesla, and why they're like 8 to 9 years ahead of every other car company.
You have a section on that website, the Why Rashad Radio is Obsessed with Tesla. Also, okay. Matty Wash and ilovemattywash.com. Yeah, man. I've been trying to keep them short and sweet so people can get that. Gotta be there. Maybe I'm wrong when it comes to my marketing ideas, but I also don't want to be, caught up in the mix of running around like, what do they call it? Bitcoin box that says perfect. I'm fucking it all up. But eventually, you do say, like if we're exact to the point, on the time. Like we started 3:33. Oh, speaking of that, I'm gonna text you about that later on.
Okay.
But we've been starting at 3:33. Typically, like, this is episode 9, y'all. I'm pretty sure each one we started around 3:33. Some of them went on to like 5 o'clock. Most of them were typically done around 4:44 because I like to do shit like that with my watch. You know what I mean? I'm funny like that. I'm hoping that my numbers can be fun like that too. But be here for the next one, y'all. It might not be a super fans only. Maybe we'll do half of it super fans, like you said. Do you want to do any picks before we go right now to make that? We could.
My picks. The funny thing is, my picks are pretty much always the same. Much hasn't changed.
Right.
My picks right now, I'm spending all my money is Humble. My big one obviously is Tesla. That's where 50%. 50% of my investment money goes into Tesla right now. I'm buying Humble. I haven't bought FUV in a little bit. I'm just let it sit right now because everything else is cheap. Palantir. I'm loading
That
it.
joint kicked everybody out. You see what I just did?
Yep.
I didn't know what it would do, but like, who knows? Let's just chill for a little bit. That joint, they were probably like, oh shit, we can't hear him.
That's fine.
But I'm telling you, man, that's what I'm trying to say, dog. Like, eventually, if you're, especially for you, dude, like, you got good stuff, and I feel like it's not even about like, everybody has their lane. Like, you got a lane right here, so.
Yeah, I'm still building. I'm still building my audience, I think. Like, I mean, I don't even know how many followers you have. I didn't even check.
I don't even know. Mine are low too, bro. I'm just thinking of stuff to do.
Yeah, 20. You're at 2,600. I'm not even broken 1,000. I'm not even broken 800 yet. So.
I'm talking about followers. I'm talking about subscribers.
Oh, I'm just talking about followers. So my goal is to get as many people involved and then cut it. But I want to give like basic stuff and then have more. Like I don't want to have my subscription at like $5. I want to do it at like $20 or $25, so I can have.
You're thinking about being higher.
Yeah, and having like just the people who are like having my course. I'm gonna give my website. I'll make that a part of it, and then maybe I'll do like my Discord, and like have it like a hey, if you're subscribing to me, you're getting a lot more than just getting to be a guest or whatnot. Obviously, those things will be there too.
Right.
But
right. But the thing is for the people that are only looking for that like are like, I just like listening to Matty Wash. They're gonna be like, well, I don't know, man. They always just gonna want to be able to feel special. So when you have these fans only shows, they're gonna be like, all right, this is from me.
Right. Yeah. Well, the fans only shows will be I just I feel like I need to have like Bitcoin had like a little book that he was giving out intro. Like I want to do like the budget thing that I got. I'm gonna do a Discord show on that each week with my subscribers. So whatever, we'll see. But anyway, those are my picks. Oh, Tattooed Chef has been taken off, by the way. It's gone up. It's up over 20.
Who is?
Tattooed Chef. We've talked about that.
Yo, what's crazy is that even though we only have no followers in here, if you go look on the magnifying glass and see what's trending, we're the third trending, or we were. Where'd it go now? Yeah, we are. We're we're the fourth trending show right now. So that might have just been off the strength. Does it look like that for you too?
I got the magnifying
glass.
I got us number 2 there. Shows for you. Is that what you're looking at?
And we just put it on on fans only right now. I know that it might feel like it probably wouldn't get nobody in here. It's just a slow start. Even when I did it with Body Scotty, right? Like him and I were talking, and that joke was like nobody in there. And I was like, "You want us to start off?" He's like, "Nah, just chill." Again, that's Body Scotty, so it's different, but they come in slowly. Like your subscribers come in, and then people just be like, "Man, I can't take it."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I want to have, like I would feel like if I had as many followers as you, then I would feel more comfortable people doing it. I just need to be on here more because I get every time I'm on a talk, I get followers. I just haven't been on. I'm just not on as much. So that's what I'm starting. I'm just starting to be on, every day. Yesterday, I was on with you in the morning with M Spec, and then we got into it with, it was me, Super High, Real Talk,
Yo,
and
I know you like that.
Ruth.
I know you like that. How I was getting mad at people for talking bad about stereo.
It was. But
No, it irritates me, and then like he continued to go on and on. It's like, dog, I literally just said, could you please not do that? And you're like, no, but here's why I want you doing it. I'm like, wait, what's going on, man? Like, and then even the commenter with it, I was like, yo, no.
Yeah, EMC.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, there's just something I just don't understand. It's almost like we all understand Cap's plight. Kaepernick might not correlate exactly, right? We all want to stand for Cap. That was whack, but like to think that he'll ever get a job back in the NFL is ridiculous. He freaking sued the NFL, so it's like people on stereo that are like mad that they want something from it. I don't understand how they can think that like just recording that is a good idea.
Or it's or the fact that, I mean, they literally just made this update. It's like it did happen on Friday. Can you come and give it? The next day, it's like, wait, this is broke. That doesn't work. I got this going on. It's like, all right, they just gave you something. Did you ever see? There's a bit by Louis C.K. and it's called "Everything's Great, but Nobody's Happy."
Right, that makes so much sense.
Well, he's like, we just have the worst, we're just like the worst generation for all this great stuff. He's like, it's like the latest thing that ever happened. I was like, I got on a plane and they said, hey, on this plane now, you're going to have Wi-Fi. And this is like the newest thing. It's like, we've never had it. And then we got up in the air and they said, okay, everyone, turn on your laptops and whatnot. And you have Wi-Fi. And we were like, wow, it was amazing. It was great. I had great speed. After like 30 minutes, there was some kind of, they came out, they said, oh, we're sorry, we're having some trouble with the Wi-Fi. And everyone's like, oh, what the hell? This freaking sucks. It's like, you didn't even have this. It's like, how fast do you think you are entitled to something that you didn't even know existed 30 minutes ago?
It's the most annoying thing about our pretentious society. I look forward to being able to afford a lot of things and being in that area of place where people are like that, but I don't like that about people. It's like, how dare you offer a service and now your service isn't working? I'm outraged.
Right.
Like, all right, people.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen with when these full self-driving cars come out. Just so you know, it's going to be an accident. It's like, there's just going to be an accident. It's going to happen. Something's going to happen wrong, and it's the way it works. But there's accidents every single day. It's just they're going to blow it out of proportion.
I can see it. I'm going to look at more of these models so I can freaking be able to identify them instead of just sounding like a bimbo talking about I want a Tesla. I don't even know which ones I want. These look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Next week, what I've been doing on Sundays is a little bit jam-packed for me, right? So I don't know if you'd mind, but maybe if you have time near dinner, I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm pushing ours down a little bit just because I only do like hour shows with you, an hour show with Molly, and an hour show with Bitcoin on Sunday.
Okay.
But with Molly, she's ready to try to like step it up to a little bit longer to use the fans only feature.
Okay.
So it would bleed into starting at 3:30.
Make it whenever you want, bro. I'm fine all day. Yeah, I'm not. I just get to work now. I'm gonna work on my course, so I like talking to you because it gets me moving on getting that thing done. I want to have it done by the end of May.
That shit together, bro. Get your work done, dog.
Yeah. Well, I got that, and I got my solar company I'm working on at the same time. So.
Seems like a lot of the people that I'm connecting with on here are busy-minded. Stay busy, can do type of people. So.
Yeah, man. All right. Sounds good.
I'll holler at you a little bit later.
Sounds like a plan. All right, bro. God damn, I was tired. I was really tired for this show.